Okay, so my phone is... fuck. Okay. Okay, I have no idea. Okay, I have no idea if what the hell's going on, but there's this stupid glitch on my phone where whenever I start live streaming, the YouTube app just crashes and restarts all over again. So now let me try putting it on my makeshift stand here next to a cardboard. God damn it. Let me try putting this next to a cardboard box. Come on, stay there. You stayed there before. You can do it again. Damn. Okay, there we go. Now let me plug in the microphone. Microphone is plugged in. And now I'm going to leave it alone. Leave it alone. There we go. Finally. The stuff that you have to go through when you're so used to live streaming with a regular Windows computer, and now you have to use a phone. In some ways, it's impressive, but other times, it's a gigantic pain in the ass to deal with. So, I don't know if I can see the chat room right now. Let me see here. Okay, it's telling me I should be able to see it, so that's a good thing. So, I guess I'll just... Okay, there we go. Welcome to the live stream, guys. Thanks for watching. So, as you saw before from the title of the video, I called this half... What the fuck do you mean it's out of sync? How can it be out of sync? There's no settings to adjust on here. All I did was plug in the microphone to the phone and then lean the phone against a cardboard box. It wasn't out of sync the last time I did this, and now for whatever reason someone's telling me it's out of sync. But anyways, yeah, I'm sure you can tell from my mood right now, and the title is a good hint about it. So let me get back to the point I was trying to make. So I titled this stream halfway between positive and negative, because that's how it feels right now. Because right now I'm constantly shifting back and forth between positive thoughts and negative thoughts, and I feel like this was very important to capture on camera, because most people, when they talk of, like, especially like a lot of the people that I watch, you only seem to see them when they are the best version of themselves. And the thing that I'm trying to do with my YouTube channel, in addition to me being MrGamingGuitarist, is when I'm just being me, the only way I can stay consistent is, despite the mood I'm in, I will record a video or live stream anyway to prove that it doesn't matter, because the only way to continue to keep doing this is you do it anyway despite the mood you're in. And because yesterday was an amazing day, yesterday was Mo's 30th birthday. So him and me, we went to a casino in Louisiana, and he won some money. I won some money, but that wasn't really the point. The point was I finally got to go out of the house and just not think for one day. So that mini road trip that me and Mo took to Louisiana was great. And I'm wondering if Mo will eventually be in the live chat here or be in the chat room to talk about it. But I've noticed this pattern going on where there are many times where I'll be like this, where I will feel amazing. I will have an incredible day one day, excuse me, for one day. And then the very next day, I will feel the exact opposite. And despite the meditation and all of that stuff that I have been doing, human nature is going to be human nature. And there are still those days when you're not going to feel the best. And maybe it's because yesterday, I finally got to be in a different environment. And that different environment just fueled me with a very light-hearted, more positive energy. Whereas today, I come back here and I am pretty sure the reason why I feel the way I'm feeling today, I can pretty much guarantee it's all just because I got home at 4 a.m. and then woke up at around maybe... What time was it when I woke up? I woke up at, I want to say, 12, maybe 11:30. So, yeah, woke up at 12 p.m. and I'm not used to that. So that just means my body's circadian rhythm is just completely out of whack right now. It's so funny, Jacob. You're saying you look like an 80-year-old smoker. You need to dress your age, bro. It's so funny that, like, I've had this shirt for years. And the fact that you want to say you look like an 80-year-old smoker, despite the fact that I have never smoked a cigarette in my entire life at all, it's so funny that you say that. Like, it's fucking hilarious to me that you think I look like an 80-year-old smoker. Like, I don't know what the purpose of you saying that is. I don't know if it's to insult me or to make me feel like even more like shit than I already do today. But if that's the case, congratulations. Bravo to you, motherfucker. All right, I gotta take a piss. I'll be right back. All right. So, so that Jacob guy says I look like an 80-year-old smoker. And it's so funny because it's like motherfuckers are never satisfied. It's like I made a video showing the box is right there, but I'm not going to move my phone over cuz I don't want this makeshift stand on this TV tray I made with a box to fall over. But when God damn it, man. Trying to think. Trying to remember the thought that I just had that I just lost. So, when I was showing my old shirts that I found that I finally was able to get out of storage, people said, dress your age. And yet, I have this long sleeve button down shirt that I got from The Gap in 2016. I got it because I like it. And this, what you're seeing right now, is a very important lesson. You got to see my old self come back, and now I'm having a very difficult time maintaining or trying to keep the lid on that piece of shit. Because the old self is very reactionary. My old self saw a guy like Jacob saying, "You look like an 80-year-old smoker," and then I just fucking unleash, and I hate that about myself because this is what meditation is trying to help with. Keeping that immediate reactionary thought, becoming aware of it, and then catching it. And the best way I like to describe it is it's like a stove, and a stove with varying heat levels, and you want to make sure you turn that stove off as soon as you can. Because it's exactly like what I learned from Joe Dispenza. Sure, you can have angry, intense, upset, emotional reactions, but the number one thing is, how long are you going to stay that way? And I'm glad, in some ways, you were able to see that moment happen on this live stream, because now, if you're going through similar shit to me, where you're trying to improve the way you see the world, improve how you think, how you feel, how you act, and yet you get that one fucking comment that just makes your goddamn Wolverine claws want to come out. How do you retract those Wolverine claws? How do you fight the urge? By doing what I just did. You simply notice it happening, you let it simmer down, and you turn the stove off. That's one method that works for me. You can try that. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't, but at least you have something to try out. So, does anyone give enough of a fuck to hear? See, that's the old self. Would anyone like to hear about my casino trip from yesterday? There we go. That's a better way to phrase it. Scott says yes. Farhat says sure. Spacey says I want to hear. Okay. So, me and Mo, we went to a casino in Louisiana because that's the closest one, or I guess like the closest full-size casino you could go to. And see, at first, I wanted to say no because, of course, I have no goddamn income And Mo is also unemployed right now, but he still has enough cash with him, so he goes in there with me and says, "Hey, don't worry about it." He says, "You need to have a day to yourself where you can just relax and enjoy the moment." And so that's exactly what we did. So we got into his car. He picked me up over here. And by the way, Mo deserves an MVP award, because he lives 1 hour away from me, and yet he still drove 1 hour to come pick me up, and he still got in the was able to still get in the drive all the way, drive for 3 hours to go there, and then drive 3 hours all the way back and to drop me off, and then drive another hour after that, like at 4 a.m. to go home. So Mo deserves a medal for that, because he's truly one of my best friends. But anyways, so I had a great time there, and I'm glad I got to hang out with him on his 30th birthday. But you know what's so fucking hilarious to me though is that when we were going inside the casino, they let Mo walk right on by. And yet me, see, I used to think of this as an insult, but now I just laugh it off. The guy checking everybody's ID, he had to look at my ID and scan it. Even though I, even though, okay, so Mo was September, May, June, July. Even though I am 4 months older than Mo, they don't care to look at his ID and say, "Oh, you okay? Come on in." And then me, it's like, "Hey, wait there, motherfucker. All right, let me see your ID." Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. He puts it in the scanner, and said, "Okay, enjoy." I just, because there were so many times before in the past when that used to offend me so much, especially when I was just turning 21, and I wanted to, and like me and my mom and my aunt and Mo, all of us together would go to a bar, not for drinking, just to eat, just to eat. And but because it's already past 9 p.m., of course, that's what they have to do. They have to check everyone's ID. But anyway, it reminds me of that when, of course, they let my mom and my aunt go in, but they let Mo go right on in. And yet me, they have to always check. And for some reason, now I start to see it, because before, people like lots of those guys that check your ID before you go inside a place, that might be like 21, like for ages 21 and up only. I find it really interesting, because before, like, I would say, "Man, I can't wait for the day they stop asking for my ID." And one of the guys, I'll never forget this. This is when I was 21. He told me something that really stuck by me. He said, "Don't worry about it, man." He said, "Right now, you're looking at that as a disadvantage." But he said, "The older you get and the more they still ask for your ID, that will be an advantage." And even when I went inside the place to go to the casino, the guy said, "The fuck?" Oh, he didn't say fuck, but he said, "Huh, you don't even look like you're 30." So, everything just depends on perspective. All right. So that's just getting inside the casino. So we spent a lot of time, because pretty much, me and Mo are broke. So all we do is do the low bets on the slot machines. But here's the thing. I walked into the casino not expecting anything. Whereas before, like especially like the last time I went in 2022, I would get pissed off whenever I whenever I would lose money. And like for example, I would put in 20 bucks in the slot machine and then I would be like, "Ah," I would get like upset. But this time I go in there and, thanks to Joe Dispenza and Aaron Doty for all this, I put the money in put the dollar bill in the machine, and I just have a good time. And all of a sudden, when I'm not expecting, when I have no expectations, I remember I put in 20 bucks into the machine, and I forget the name of it. I think it was like the Fortune Mint, or but I distinctly remember though this slot machine said Konami on it, because Konami, the same video game publisher that made Metal Gear. Holy shit, we are at 47 views. Okay, we're getting close to hitting the record, because if we get to 61 views, 61 will, because 60 was the most amount of views I ever had at one time on a live stream. We're getting close there, guys. Tell everyone you know. Watch this random guy on YouTube. See for yourself if you like to watch him or not. But anyways, so where was I? Remember, go with the flow. Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt yourself so much, Jaren. Anyway, so what I did was, all I did was press the bet once, immediately took me to a bonus game, and then I got $180. And man, I was so happy. So then what I did was I kept playing until I realized it was 7:30, and I told Mo we should eat dinner. And you know what? We only come here like maybe once a year. Fuck it. Let's go splurge. Or Mo wanted to go splurge. I went along with it. But so at first we looked, because the casino I went to, they have a steakhouse, a seafood restaurant, and a place, and a hot dog place. Because it was Mo's birthday, you only turn 30 once in your life. I experienced that already back in May, and now Mo's experiencing this. So we went to, at first, we looked at the steakhouse, and thankfully they have the menus outside, so we on a screen, so we were able to look at all of it. And I nearly had a fucking heart attack when I looked at the menu, because what I would normally expect to pay for an entree is how much I paid, is how much the appetizers were. Like, you were lucky if looking at that steakhouse menu, if you saw an appetizer that was under $20. And then once I looked at those entrees and I looked for steak, it's like minimum was like $35, and I saw one was 35, one was 40, one was 44, one was 55, and the biggest one that got the biggest laugh out of me was, those giant tomahawk steaks. They cost about, and I'm not even making this up, because if the regular cuts of steak that I'm used to eating, like a sirloin or a ribeye or a New York strip, was about running in the like $40 range, that big ass tomahawk, $355. Oh man. So immediately we were like, fuck this. Let's go look at this seafood place, see if they're cheap, like a bit cheaper. Where it was still expensive enough to be called expensive, but still reasonable enough for human beings to afford. So we got in there, and I saw shrimp and crab pasta for 30 bucks. I said, fuck it, we're going to eat that. Or I'm on it. Well, first Mo wanted that. I was looking, they had like red beans and rice, but then they had steak and lobster for 40 bucks. I never, ever, ever, ever want to spend $40 for one entree at a restaurant. That can change. That can change when my dream of being able to have a full-time income from YouTube actually happens. But until then, 30 is as high as I'll go. That seafood pasta was 30 bucks. And at first, all the alarm bells, all the red flags were going off in my head. All that anxiety that I always would normally feel all the time just started coming flooding back. It's like, oh my God, that's 30 bucks. Oh my God, what the fuck am I going to do? Oh my God. And then Mo said, hey, Jaron, you're here on my birthday to celebrate. So what if you're spending $30? It's not like you're going to be doing this every day or even every single week all the time. Relax, live a little. It's okay. And as soon as he said that, I was like, you are absolutely correct. So I got to eat that. And oh, hey, Wrath donated $1.99 for, is that British pounds? Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. So, anyways, we get there, and let me tell you, that shrimp and crab pasta, the best, one of the greatest meals of my entire life. All the worries I had, it's like, oh God, I'm spending $30. What the fuck am I doing? As soon as that plate arrived, I was like, worth it. It was right then and there in that moment why I understood why people enjoy going to expensive restaurants. It was like right then and there, it's like, I get it. So that pot, like everything was cooked great. And, of course, we're in Louisiana. That's fresh crab, fresh shrimp. They made this amazing, Cajun cream sauce with angel hair pasta. It was, as the kids these days would say, it was a chef's kiss. That's the first time I've ever done that motion and referenced chef's kiss like that, but maybe it would relate to the younger generation. I don't know. It was amazing. And so then we went back after feeling extremely full. We got to have some roulette. We got to play roulette. But it was the video roulette where it was the smaller bets, not that table. But I still remember it was like $10 for each bet. And and the cool thing about that was after $10 for each bet, like I only played it once. I did that. I inserted 20 bucks, went away with 30 bucks, and I also remember winning more money on a different slot machine where I got like 20 bucks out of it, and I said, I'm good, I'm done. Because I remember spending 20 bucks. I don't see, it's like, here's the thing, is like, I don't want to be like completely hammering on the details of what did I walk in with, what did I walk out with. But all that happened pretty much is Mo gave me $40. He said, here you go. I said, thank you. And I remember with that $40, it turned into 180 something dollars. And then I spent $30 on that amazing shrimp and crab pasta. And Mo wanted to keep going, so we went there until around, I want to say, maybe midnight or 1 or 12:30. And then we went and got dessert at this more, I guess, like cafe style or cafeteria style place where they just had stuff on the shelf. You grab it and you take it to the counter. I got a brownie. Mo got a pecan bar. And I'll just say I had a great time. And of course, thanks Mo for bringing me along there. And the biggest thing that I've learned about all of this is that you might have good days, you might have bad days, but when you have a truly special day that's going to stick with you, like going on a road trip to Louisiana, or that time when I went to Austin 5 years ago. Man, my hands feel like they're shaking. I don't know why. Anyway, it's when you go through all those moments where those truly special days, that's what makes the bad days worth it. Because that's when you know, like, because it's in those moments when you truly get to appreciate what you have. Because it's during those times when you stay in the present moment, that's when that's because that's the thing that I've noticed. It's like, why am I always in such a good mood whenever I take a trip somewhere or when I'm on vacation somewhere? It's simply because you are in the present moment, because the present moment is all we have, and you can choose whether you want that present moment, whether you're going to fully immerse yourself in the present, or you're going to do what my old self does that I still struggle with. You either beat yourself up for shit from the past that's already over, or you're constantly worrying about stuff that may or may not happen in the future. Because all that stuff that you're worrying about, if because depression comes from beating yourself up over the past, whereas anxiety comes from constantly worrying or trying to brace yourself that something bad is going to happen. Because my old mindset was, if you only brace yourself for bad things to happen, then no shit, Sherlock, no wonder bad things happen. Because that's where your thoughts are. Because I always give him a shout out, and I always will. I learned this from Joe Dispenza. Your thoughts create your reality. And I know I've said that before in other live streams, but it really is true. Your thoughts create your reality. Because if you think something bad is going to happen, you'll see those bad things happen. If you think something good is going to happen, you'll see that happen. It's just like that old Henry Ford quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're correct. But what's the point in worrying about the past? I'm sorry, what's the point in worrying about the future? Like, why think about, why waste your energy? Why waste your time thinking about only bad things when really it's so amazing what happens when you practice, and I'm saying this as a person who was negative throughout the majority of his 20s. It's amazing what you can accomplish, how much better you'll feel once you practice seeing the positive side of things rather than the negative. That's just yeah, anyway, that's a lot of the stuff that I wanted to get off my chest. So now I'm just going to read what you guys wrote. And of course, here's what some people that will complain need to understand. I am not obligated to respond to every single comment that I see. And at the same time, because I've seen this happen time and time and time again, there's always people in the chat room that get pissed off if I don't respond. It's either, number one, I don't like what you wrote and I'm going to ignore it, or most likely number two, I just didn't see it. And just type it again if you want me to respond that badly. But anyways, let me start reading the chat room, which could be either the greatest, which could either be the greatest decision I've made today or the worst decision I've made today, depending on the amount of shit talking that's going to happen in there. All right, Poshter donates $5. Thank you so much. He said, "Love the story so far. Great advice from your friend. Enjoy today. We are lucky to see your smiling face and be able to hear from you today." Hey, thank you so much, Poshter. I really appreciate that. Okay. All right, I'm just going to run back. Okay, I just saw some stuff I'm not even going to bother responding to. Yes, exact. Oh, no. See, I'm going to fight that instinct to not respond to something that pushed my buttons. PJ, the problem is he doesn't have any dude friends. Motherfucker, my two best friends are Keanu and Mo. Those are men. The fuck are you talking? All right. Turn the stove off. Turn the goddamn stove off. The thing is, okay, you shouldn't let. Here's the thing. Before you even have to turn the stove off, don't let yourself start boiling in the first place. There we go. I just gave my own self some fucking advice. All right. I love how there's so many people in the goddamn chat room that keep saying I'm emotional and weak and fluffy and all of this bullshit. Keep talking your shit, guys. Because it's so hilarious how I have always been me, except now, or at least I'm I can feel that I'm ascending to a better place in my life mentally now. And it's so funny how many people talk shit about someone they don't know. It's just human nature and the nature of the internet, and that used to piss me off so much. I spent so much time in my teenage years just letting all that shit make me angry. And yet still, clearly, as you've seen today earlier on this live stream, that shit still affects me, but at the very least, I'm so happy I accomplished the beginning steps of becoming aware of how much it affects me and catching it. Because really, all life is just one baby step at a time. Scott says Mo is a great guy. Yes, he is. Bondarenko, you know that I read comments. So why do you keep posting that, man? We talked yesterday. I mean, on the last live stream I did. PJ says he needs good friends. Motherfucker. Mo has been a best friend of mine since we were in ninth grade. I don't need, just because you don't think Mo is a good friend to me, you can think that all you want, but I know Mo is a good person. I know he's my best friend. I know that we enjoy hanging out, watching funny videos, saying a bunch of R-rated jokes we could never fucking tell on YouTube, and laughing our asses off. If that's not a friend, according to your strict standards, then just stop fucking watching my goddamn YouTube channel. Because the less people that think like you in the fucking comment section, the better. Michael Brock says, take it as a compliment. You look young. Yes, I'm learning to take it as a compliment now. Kevin says, is it cool or hot out where you guys are? Well, I live in Texas and it's always hot, except for a few glimmers of being given the present that is cold weather in November and December. And it stays cold a little bit, but it's been, different weathers. We've been experiencing different weather in Texas, where, like, especially where it was frozen and where there was a lot of ice outside and it was like 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And there was a time where I was going outside to go check something in the car that I was renting, and I took a step outside, and this happened. Like, it was like watching Peter on Family Guy when he stepped down the stairs, except I wasn't falling down a giant case of stairs. It was just the concrete steps to get inside this mobile home. I took one step outside, and I took one step, immediately slipped, and, busted my ass, and that's how oh, wait. Jesus, man. It's funny. You would think, being 30 years old, you would know the difference between your left and right. But anyway, I got this, maybe you can see it, but I got this scar on my elbow because I landed hard and it was bleeding a lot. It's like right there. Right here. This was a giant wound that was bleeding a lot, and I don't know if the camera is, you can really see it that well, but it's like there's this when the skin grew back, it's like a darker shade right here. See, here's the thing. I started this out negatively. Now you're starting to see a perfect example. You saw me start out as Batman. Or no, 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 no. You saw me start off as Wolverine and then still negative, but with a light, where you saw the ascent into Batman, and then hopefully by the end of this stream, well, no one is ever that. Well, no, that's just me being negative again. Slowly using that optimism that Superman has. By the way, I cannot fucking wait for the James Gunn Superman movie to come out next year. I'm so fucking excited. Let me see here. Oh, vegetarian is back. Welcome. Said yes. Everything is all about perspective. You see, this is what I don't fucking understand about all these guys. Like, it's so funny. About all their advice about just be a man, bro. Stop being a pussy. All those guys that write comments like that, they all say the same thing. They all say just don't wear glasses anymore, and just lift 1,000-pound weights, and then make sure to get a haircut with a fade with the short sides. They all say that fucking shit. It's so, like, my God, it's like those guys think they're being unique when all they're doing is following a goddamn bandwagon. And here we go once again. I guarantee it. Someone's gonna take that fucking clip that of me, doing my impression of these dude bros in the fucking in comments. I guarantee you, some motherfucker's gonna clip that out and then try to pull that out of context, just like what everyone else does these days whenever someone tries to. It's like people that dedicate their entire YouTube channels to that. If there was a button, oh god damn it, there we go. That's what happens when I become more animated, and the microphone gets unplugged, of course. Plug in. Okay, and then come on now. There we go. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, making fun of the dude bros. Yeah, it's like, it's so funny how sometimes when I get really stressed out, look, you're seeing it happen in real time. When you just have to learn to let all that shit go. And I'm going to start letting all that shit go right now. Let's move on. Okay, someone needs to tell me who the fuck is Legion of Men. They said Legion of Men did a video on you. I don't know what that YouTube channel is. Someone can explain more. And I truly, sincerely hope that they're not these dude bro type of people that I completely detest. Or maybe I should say it's not the dude bro people, but it's the people that become that dude bro stereotype. Like the people telling me to get fucking LASIK surgery and then get a fucking short haircut with a goddamn fade. Cuz guess that, and I didn't like it. All right. Spaghetti and Bean says, have you heard of Scott Gray? He is an elite guitarist. I've never heard of Scott Gray, but that could be on the reaction to-do list. Kevin says, if you gamble a lot, they comp you free buffet. Yes, that's exactly what they do a lot of the time. I just don't gamble, but I'm also the kind of person that makes sure to never dare become a person that gambles so much that you get free stuff, that you go to the casino so fucking much that you get those free items at restaurants. But you used to go and eat 20 pounds of crab legs in one sitting. Well, that's definitely the smart way to handle it. But man, how the fuck can you eat 20 pounds of crab legs in one sitting? Like, I got so full from that plate of that amazing seafood pasta, I was regretting finishing the whole thing. Yes, yeah, vegetarian. Yes, that's very. Some places do let you. They give you a free night in a hotel room. Yeah, yeah, because that I've seen that before. Spaghetti and Beans. Of course, I've watched Hell's Kitchen. I love Gordon Ramsay. Like, I did my impression of him before, but if you want to see a horrible impression of him again, here it's like I love that moment when he just goes, you." I have to stopping myself before it finishes and just let it happen because it just feels like I'm feeling this. It's almost like I can feel the energy of the people cringing watching this that want to write shitty mean comments. It's like I could feel their energy while I'm doing it, and sometimes that's why I stop myself. But hey, that's just another psychological challenge for me to tackle. Anyways, I love that moment where he just says, you, go fuck off upstairs. Ollie G in the house. Yes, I love Ollie G. You know what's interesting about the Ollie G in the house movie is, man, okay, I know his name. I'm gonna know his name. The guy that played Watson on Sherlock with Benedict Martin. Is it Martin Freeman? Is that the guy's name? He was in Ollie G in the house, which I find so funny because I he was amazing in Fargo season 1, and I forget what his name is, but that FBI agent from in the MCU where you saw him in Civil War and the 2 Black Panther movies. I forget his name, but Martin Freeman, incredible actor. And of course, Sacha Baron Cohen is a genius. Like, I can't get enough. Like, the first time I saw Borat, I rented it on DVD from Blockbuster. And yes, that's that. Yes, if you are um, Gen Z, we used to have to rent movies and pay for each disc one at a time instead of being spoiled and putting on and being able to access fucking being able to access millions of movies and TV shows for the cost of what used to be renting 3 DVDs at Blockbuster. Scott Gray, I do know about Radiohead. Like, I don't know a lot, but if you want to talk about Radiohead, you need to talk to Keanu because he loves Radiohead. Like, the way that Keanu became a massive Radiohead fan, just learning about their history and just slowly learning about them one by one, going through each album. That's the exact same way I became a massive Paramore fan. Sacred Elemental. I cook a lot more often than I eat out. It's just, I want to be able to learn to cook. Man, there's a fly on the microphone, and I'm not gonna hid it because I don't want to make the headphone users watching the go deaf. You made a huge pot of vegetable soup that you will freeze and then eat it over the next week. That's a good plan. All right, let me see here. Oh man, this is the stream con. Okay. Okay. So, oh come on. Why? Oh. Is it? Is it working? Ah, oh, Jesus. Ah, oh, Jesus, man. Finally. It is so. All right, finally. Okay, I kept getting this stupid glitch where the YouTube app constantly crashes. So I made sure to go in there, go on my phone, close down every single app, and hopefully, this fucking works. It seems to be stable for now. Let me just plug the microphone back in. There we go. Lazos, the fact that you think using the word geek is an insult is hilarious. Jason Henderson, yes, I do have female friends. All right, Chastity, go ahead and please not ban, whatever it is. Just please ban Lazos, because his toxicity is not welcome here. All right. All right. All right, I'm just reading. Man, oh man, this is getting me so much more hyped to finally get my goddamn laptop back. Thank you, Chastity. I appreciate it. Israel, I'm not brushing off the advice because that advice comes from a toxic place. Because you know what? Back in the days before, when the only videos I fucking made were just me playing guitar or me talking about my favorite people like that, I swear to God, man, they piss me off so much. And turn off the stove. Let me finish that thought, and then we're going to move on from that. So, fuck. I'm going to remember it. Just give me some time. I got it. People that are like fucking hell. I am turning the heat off of the stove so I can remember exactly what it was that I was trying to say. All right, I think I have found a better way to phrase all of this shit. Anytime I see a comment that makes me angry, all it does is give me flashbacks to elementary and middle school when I got bullied. And so whenever I see someone being insulting, like that Lazos motherfucker or whatever his fucking username is that's not even worth mentioning again, whenever I see people like that, all it does is give me flashbacks to those asshole bullies from when I was in school. That's, if you want to go right down to the source of it, that's what it all comes down to. And so anytime I see that, my old self constantly, immediately wants to keep rushing back, and I keep fighting to reel him back in and say, don't you fucking dare, but it happens so quick, I can't stop it before it happens. And so this whole entire journey of this whole mental health journey that I've been on since 2022, it has all been about, or one of the major things, it's not the only thing, but the major thing, it has all about trying to put a lid on that emotional response. And it's so funny that internet, internet, it doesn't have to be just YouTube, but internet comments are so goddamn toxic. Not every comment, because there's just this thing about human nature where you can read 100 nice comments and yet you see one judgmental asshole, and it immediately, like, it makes you feel like those 100 nice comments, it's like energetically they just completely get thrown out of the window. And a big thing that I'm working on, and you are clearly seeing me work on it, is make sure that the stove isn't even turned on in the first place. You know what? I like that. I'm going to keep using that stove analogy. So hopefully that clears some shit up, because what this really boils down to, you see what I did there? I said boils, talking about a stove. What this all boils down to is it comes from an extreme lack of confidence in trying to slay that dragon, where I don't fucking need anybody else's approval. It's like what Chris Cornell said. Um, I don't remember the name of that song because it was during his Unplugged album, the album called Songbook. He does this introduction where he says something. I'm gonna paraphrase here because I can't remember his exact words off the top of my head, but he just said something about, I am who I am. People are going to either like it or not like it, and I'm not gonna give a fuck anymore. This whole mental health journey, or one of the main pillars of this, is making sure to get to that point where I permanently don't give a fuck anymore, because I give too much of a fuck about what complete strangers that I'm never going to meet are going to say about me. That's what it all fucking boils down to. I'll be right back. Let me check my blood pressure because I haven't done that today. By the way, you don't have to go for expensive name brand stuff. You can just use the Equate brand and it still works just as good for me. And no, of course, that's not a fucking sponsorship. Alright. Normally, my numbers are between like 118 or it's like hovers between 120 over 80, but let me just see what my emotional response has done. Of course, 136 over 83. No fucking wonder I'm feeling so triggered by assholes in the comments. All right. All right. Why don't we all do this together? Let's take a deep breath in. Let's do another one. A popular tip from Andrew Huberman is you want your exhale to be twice as long as your inhale. All right. Now let's start looking at the fucking chat room. Songs for Bear Bear also loves Paramore. Good taste. Vegetarian is having a hard time with Doom Eternal and Space Marine 2. I love Doom Eternal, and I haven't finished it. Geek Moshua donated £2. Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you have addictions? I'm not going to say what he wrote out loud. He said, but do you have addictions? And I'm not going to say that second sentence because I don't know what that's going to do to the YouTube algorithm or whatever. But pretty much my two addictions, caffeine, sugar. And in retrospect, we can also say carbs. I mean, I just talked about pasta earlier when about my casino trip during Mo's birthday yesterday. Yeah, vegetarian. So what was going on from my point of view when the stream was messing up was my YouTube app kept crashing nonstop over and over and over and over again. But as soon as I closed all the other apps that were running in the background on my phone, all of a sudden it seems to be working a lot better, a lot more stable now. Israel Crafts, that's exactly what I hate. You see, I hate that whole fucking video of mine that I'm not going to say out loud because I'm so sick and tired of talking about it, but here I am again being a fucking hypocrite talking about it. So it just annoys. See, the fact that you said that's what he's famous for is what just god, it fucking angers me. Because that's everyone's first impression of me, and now that's how everyone looks at me through that fucking lens, and they never actually get to see who I am. And so another part of me yelling and being upset is the YouTube algorithm has now pushed me where now the only time I get like an excessive amount of views is whenever I'm talking about that kind of subject matter, that all these fucking toxic dude bros flock to. And I never wanted that to be my main fucking audience, because what I wanted my main audience to be are people that love music, movies, video games, people who just love entertainment, like the same people that would watch John Campia, or the people who would watch The Real Rejects, or people who would watch Akasan, or Just, or like Rob Chapman or Andertons, or, you know, people like Sophie Burrell, or just that's the audience that I fucking wanted. Because now, anytime I do what I actually want to be doing, no one gives a fuck. And I hate that. Because I wish the videos of me playing guitar or the videos of me, I wish that's the thing that would get 900,000 fucking views. Not the video of me having a fucking depressive episode. But whatever. It is what it is. Oh, yeah, okay. Sacred Elemental. Yes, I have not seen The Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, but I absolutely have to. I've heard amazing things about it. Sacred Elemental. Yes, I did see Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. Incredible movie. And I don't know if most people know this, but the guy who directed that first Joker movie, and he's also directing the sequel, Folie à Deux, which I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, is Todd Phillips, the same guy who directed The Hangover. And whenever I would tell all my Uber passengers about that, they would just freak out. It's like, wait, what? The Hangover guy directed Joker? It's like, yeah, that is what I call range and versatility in filmmaking. God damn it. I wish you had controls here. All right. So yeah, Sacred Elemental says, I'm feeling worried about Folie à Deux being a musical, but maybe that's the premise of Joker's personality. Well, I remember seeing an interview with Todd Phillips, and he said that movie is, he says he doesn't call it a musical, but he calls it a movie where music is a theme around it, whatever that's supposed to mean. But we'll find out when we see it on October 4th. Yes, absolutely vegetarian. You are 100% correct. Jaron, you can't let people get to you. YouTube has some toxic personalities. Yes, I know. And people getting to me is my number one biggest weakness in life. And I've been spending 2 years to change that. Clearly, it's not going well. But all you can do is move on and do better next time. Songs for Bear Bear says, you're the one we like here, not them. They are being weird. Thank you. I'm just so sick. I am so fucking sick of that goddamn toxic dude bro vocal minority thinking they can take over the fucking comment section in every goddamn video. It's like, this channel, if that's how you see yourself, that's the kind of content you identify with, then stop watching my fucking channel, because I don't want people like that here. Exactly, vegetarian. Those are energy vampires, and you can't give them your power and energy. Absolutely. Yes, Cameron44 says people are mean. I made a video congratulating Nick Avocado on his weight loss, and some guy put in the comment section saying that I'm fat, and it reminds me of when I got bullied. Exactly. It's like, it's so amazing, like, how... God damn it, man. I need to remember to turn the vibrate off on my phone. Come on. There we go. Where was I? It's just, the internet is, or let's just say, writing comments on the internet is a great way to see the worst side of humanity. That's all I can say. Because guess what? When I go outside in the actual real fucking world, I never see people talk to me the way these toxic dude bro motherfuckers talk to me in the comment section. I never see anyone with that fucking personality in real life. It just goes to show you, those people talk the talk, but they won't walk the walk. Because I guarantee you, people with that same anger and energy and hatred, I fucking dare you to dare those people to go to any of the neighborhoods and go to anywhere in the suburbs of Houston and try acting that way. See how fucking far you get in life with that fucking attitude. Yes, Redo19. You always have to show grace because you never know what someone's going through for real. People will always say shit. Yeah, that's true. Hang on, I gotta move the TV tray further back. There we go. Man, just all this hassle of live streaming with a phone, all it does is just make me realize how much I took my damn laptop and OBS for granted. Yes, Proto Man, thank you. Says, Jaren's very frustrated with, why don't you have a girlfriend comments, even if well-intentioned. I get it, but I mean, I've already said it. That video is not going to define my YouTube channel. Yes, vegetarian. People are just stuck in a program that goes in loops to make real people miserable. 1,000,000,000%, absolutely. Jason Henderson says, why is he scared? See, that's the thing. It's like, why do you always make assumptions about me? I'm not scared of a relationship. Why the fuck would you even say that? I do not have the income to. I'm not, you know what? Fuck it. We're not talking about that subject anymore. Jesus Christ. Wow. Vegetarian, your heart rate's always at 56 beats per minute? Huh. You know, that actually reminds me of John Stockton, like when he was still playing in the Utah Jazz. He always had a resting heartbeat of 65 beats per minute. I think that's why they talk about that's how he was always able to stay calm, um, doing, all those assists. Gave him the most assists in NBA history. But see, Lazu, why do you care so much? You see, that's you see, it's almost feels like we're talking to a mirror here because I'm talking about that about, I let myself be vulnerable and I talked about, that whole feeling about validation, but I'm seeing it right here, Lazu. It's like, why do you want so badly the need to be able to constantly type a comment? Songs for Bear Bear, I did not see Long Legs yet. I haven't seen it. Oh man, I just wish God, I had a separate device so I could just stay here instead of having to lean over and look at the comments. So I can scroll through the chat room, but whatever. I'd rather do this with this very extremely minimalistic setup than go through another day of not showing up for this YouTube channel. Dandon Smith. Hey, Dandon, I haven't seen you here in forever. How are you doing, man? Yes, yes, Dandon. Even whatever small relative amount of fame I might have. Yeah, there are days like when it does feel like a blessing and a curse. Yes, Sacred Elemental. I have been a huge fan of Tyrone Magnus and Akasan and the Real Rejects. Like, especially, like, I am so happy to see the growth that Greg and John have went through, seeing the Real Rejects channel just explode in popularity like it has. And I like that they brought on like a bunch of other cool people, like seeing Coy and Tara and Roxy, and they have a bunch of other people that I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but it's so cool because I especially like I remember seeing what's her name? I remember seeing come on, you just said her name. I remember seeing Roxy. She used to be I remember she used to be she used to host a Legends of Tomorrow after show. And then I remember seeing her on Christian Harloff's, like pretty much like that's really, if you want to talk about what is my inspiration for YouTube, I just wanted to be in that same subgenre of YouTube, like Tyrone Magnus and Akasan and John Campia and Real Rejects and Christian Harloff. People like that. People that love to talk about the movies that they are excited for in the same way people on ESPN talk about sports. Now, I also like to talk about, I should say sports in general, because my enthusiasm and my passion for sports goes towards the NBA and the WWE. But but it all just, and I swear to God, man, I just want to talk to Dr. K so he can figure out what the fuck is wrong with my goddamn speech and why I always forget what I'm going to talk about in mid sentence. That's the number one thing holding me back, because I swear to God, if you look at my old videos from like any of them, any of them from before the year 2018, I was never like this. Now I am. TJ Rice Paper says, "Are you ever going to try making some music videos?" Yeah, I will. When I get my guitar back, when I get my laptop back. Israel, you say because people relate to the depressive video more than the guitar playing videos. But you see, all those guitar players that I love to watch, the comment section, they all talk about what they're talking about in the video, and they don't get all these fucking comments from all these fucking dude bro motherfuckers saying, "When are you gonna go to the gym? When are you gonna go to the gym?" It's like, I swear to God, all those people, all they do is like, I hate that now there's a big chunk of my audience that's only there to fucking hate watch me. And all they wanted, and they have taken over. And I fucking hate that, because those same people are the people in the comment sections when I make those guitar videos where they say, "Stop doing that, just go to the gym." Because really, I need to stop bringing attention to the people I don't want attention from. That is a huge flaw in my personality, and that is something that needs to be worked on. Observer, have you ever been outside of the USA? Yes, I have. There was a time when I went to a cruise to Cozumel, Mexico when I was 11 years old. And then when I was 16, me, my mom, and my aunt, we went to the Philippines. And that was the first such an eye-opening experience, because my biggest takeaway is how happy the people over there are, despite people in America that they're thinking that they would be unhappy with what they have, because it's such an eye-opening experience how, like, for example, how much I get pissed off over people I don't know, and yet from comment sections, and yet there are so many people in the Philippines that are living with way less money, way less access to the resources that the majority of the people, including myself in the lower middle class, would have, and yet they're still positive, they're happy, they don't let things affect them. I didn't come to this realization about that until very recently, because all I would say before, like when I went there December 2010 and then came back here January 2011, the biggest thing I would say is, "Oh, I took so much for granted." But really, the bigger takeaway is they they're happy with what they have, and they don't spend endless amounts of time agonizing or being angry at what they don't have. And really, the big takeaway from that is the way I'm speaking right now, I need to let that sink into my brain a lot more often. I need to enter that mode and make that who I am permanently instead of instead of letting some fucking assholes determine my emotional state of mind. Because you've seen those other videos of mine where I talk about where I know I have grown, but then it just gets so easy to slip back. And catching yourself when you slip back and not making sure it doesn't stay that way for any longer periods of time than it needs to, that's where the growth is. Because the difference between the difference between trauma and wisdom is when you think back, when if you unfortunately have ever experienced trauma, and believe me, God knows I know what that feels like. It when you can look back at what you've experienced and not have an emotional reaction to it, but you can just revisit those memories you have and not feel that pain. And of course, I can be 1 trillion% wrong with what I'm saying, but from the very little knowledge of life that I have, because now I can look back and drive through the old neighborhood where I used to grow up and no longer feel the need to pull over and just sob endlessly. Because the difference between then and now is back then, I would always blow up and feel anger and bitterness and hatred whenever things don't go the way I want them to. Now, there are those of you in the comments that want to be jerks and say you're being a fucking hypocrite, but I understand that because you saw me being angry earlier before. But I know the way I reacted was wrong. And I'm not going to stay in that place. Look at me right now. I'm not in that place. In this moment, I'm not in that place anymore. I feel a lot lighter right now than I did earlier when I was being pissed off at what some dude bro assholes in comments were writing. And really, I feel like I just need to not respond ever again to those people that trigger me. That is the right thing to do. What you saw earlier from my behavior earlier in the live stream, that's what you're supposed to not do. It's all part of the process. All right, let me see and read the chat room right now. Yes, Jonathan. Welcome, Jonathan Markham. Thank you for watching. He says, I don't think they do, Jacob. It depends on what the algorithm has decided for that specific channel. And unfortunately, it's the dude bros that trigger me that has started to become the audience that my YouTube channel is getting more exposure to instead of the audience I wanted. Because now I know you're not always going to get what you want in life. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop being me. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop talking about guitars, playing guitars, trying out amp sims making demos for that, because really that's all about expectation. That's what it really is, because you're not going, things are not going the way you want them to, because you have such a strong emotional connection to the outcome of whatever situation you're in. Because guess what? There were several hot girls at the casino in Louisiana. And guess what? I did talk to them. I talked to them the same way I talked to Mo, the same way I talked to Keanu, without needing to think about what do I say? What do I talk about? What can I say to make sure I like all that anxiety I felt before? I don't feel it. I didn't feel it. I would just say, "Hey, how are you? How's your day going?" "Oh, you won at this slot machine. Oh, that's cool. Really cool. I was able to win this at this slot machine. Cool. Thanks. It was nice talking to you. Have a great day." And they say, "Thanks, you too." It's not that, yeah. Geek Ma Geek Moshua says, "What's your favorite rock band?" Mine is Alter Bridge. I love Alter Bridge. Like Miles Kennedy and Mark Tremonti are two huge heroes of mine. Um, I love Mark Tremonti's guitar playing, but I got introduced to Alter Bridge because Miles Kennedy was in Slash's band. Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, and I love all the albums. I think my favorite Alter Bridge album has to be either their first album or Blackbird, one of those two. What the fuck? Okay, I'm not going to respond to that. Oh wow, Vegetarian said Jason Henderson replied to that guy saying, "Yeah, you don't just go around asking strangers personal questions." Yeah, Vegetarian, Dandin, any of the mods, I don't know if you've done so already, but if Jason Henderson is still here, which I hope he's not, tell him he's not him and his bullshit attitude is not welcome on this YouTube channel, and make sure you go and ban him. And I'm going to celebrate never needing to respond to Jason Henderson ever again, because I've got some diarrhea and I'm going to let it out. Go ahead, talk amongst yourselves. And you can tell them, why is he not here? It's because he's got a volcano in his ass that's about to explode. Wow, still 41 people that were waiting for me to come back. That's amazing. Thank you guys for sticking around for this live stream. So, you know what? I think there's some super chat messages that I've missed out on. I'm going to go back and read those. Okay. Holy shit, it's actually working. I don't know what it is. That's that same glitch because I know it's not my Wi-Fi. It's the stupid, I don't even know what to call it. It's just the YouTube app constantly crashing. And then whenever I take this USB-C adapter and plug it back in, for whatever reason, whenever this microphone gets unplugged, that's when the bullshit starts happening. God damn it! Fuck. Yeah. All right. Should be working now. All right. It's just as soon as the glitches start happening, for whatever reason, when I unplug unplug this like Razer microphone, it starts working again. So I don't know how a USB-C port for a microphone being unplugged, what that has to do with the YouTube app constantly crashing. But whatever, I fixed it. I'm just not going to touch my phone. Fuck it. So if you guys have something to say, what do you mean it's still cutting out? How the fuck is that still happening? Why? Is it good? Is the audio fine now? Thank fuck. Oh my god. Oh god. All right. You know what? I had an idea that for Halloween, I'm I could be Batman and Mo could be the Penguin. We were actually talking about that yesterday at the casino. I just think that would be pretty cool. It's like I'm watching over him to make sure he doesn't fucking escape while I try to put him in Arkham. I think that would be like, I haven't actually had a costume for Halloween in years. I think that would be pretty fun. Yes, TJ Rice paper, that stress hack. That's exactly what I learned from Andrew Huberman. It's just this. But that's the thing is because my social life is only hanging out with Keanu and Mo, I wouldn't know where to go. Is there a Halloween party you can just go to where it's like you show up with your costume somewhere, just hang out? I would love to do that. And then me and Mo still dressed up, me as Batman, Mo as Penguin. Then we talk about how our day went on a live stream. That would be pretty cool. Cosmic Clam says, "Do you go to pubs in the U.S. or is that not a thing?" I mean, I'm pretty sure going to pubs. That's the only thing I knew about how to be social. That's all I've done before. Scott says that would be badass, bro. Yeah. Now there are people with super chats that whose messages I haven't read. Okay, I finally figured out what caused the glitch. When I went to, yes, every time I go to check super chat. So guess what? I'm not gonna touch the button that lets you filter the chat room to separate it from super chats and all the other comments, because doing that is what fucks everything up. So, holy shit, I have been live now for 2 hours. All right. Let's see here. Rip LimeWire says, "Have you ever watched John Sakar's videos?" I have no idea what that is. Cosmic Clam, I remember you were talking, I don't know if it was you that said it, but you said, is going to pubs not a common thing in the US? I mean, I guess over here we just call them bars. Um, do they not really use the word bar in the UK? Do they only use the word pub when they refer to a bar? Because I know that there's some places where the names will be called Irish pub, and then there's other places that would be called grill and bar. It's all just called pubs or clubs in the UK. Oh, okay. Thanks, Jimbo. I didn't know that. Bar is a term for the area in a pub where you go buy the beer. Okay, so pretty much what you guys would call the whole pub area, we just call that the bar. And you know what, though? I got, Zach Wild, who is one of the greatest guitarists ever, one of my favorites, one of my heroes. Uh, Please listen to his band, Black Label Society, but also a lot of the Ozzy Osbourne albums from the late 80s through the 90s and early 2000s. He was the guitarist for all that stuff. Amazing if you've never heard of him. But anyway, I bring that up just to say that Zach Wild, I remember this, like, I think it was in 2009 or 2010, he got a blood clot, and that made him stop. That was the wake-up call for him to stop drinking alcohol. So he's been sober for, I want to say, 14 years now, and I feel like his guitar player has only gotten better. But the thing he said is, despite the fact that he has been sober since 2010, he will still go to bars all the time because he just likes to hang out there. And I feel like that's a thing because even when, and by the way, that place that I went to before to do karaoke at, that place, they do not, that place actually went out of business, which really bummed me out because they've, I grew up going to that place because they had amazing food always. And then, you know, as I got to turn 21, I would go there to drink sometimes. And then recently, you know, I had the light bulb in my head last year, why don't I go there, sing some songs for karaoke and put it on YouTube? And that kind of brought a resurgence to get more consistent views on my channel, and I loved doing that, but now I just got to find another place to sing karaoke at. Yeah, TJ, I am leaning my phone against a Remington trimmer box. That's how it stays up. I've seen those phone cases that you can buy where you can, where they have like a built-in like kickstand. I feel like that would be a good thing to purchase for like what, $10 on Amazon or something. Because I'm seeing it right now. So far today from Super Chats, I have earned $41.51. And thank you so much to everyone who's done that. I truly appreciate it. And I just want to, and I wish I could just go click on the settings for the chat so I could read through them. But unfortunately, the stupid YouTube app won't allow me to do that without constantly crashing 5 times in a row when I try to restart it. But I just want you guys to know, thank anyone who donated with Super Chats today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Truly, thank you. Yeah, see, Limar, yes, I do plan to keep making more karaoke videos. Also look forward to seeing you do stand-up. Yeah, that's... I'm not going to lie. Doing stand-up... No. It's not doing the stand-up itself that makes me nervous. It's recording it and putting it on YouTube. That's what makes me nervous. But at the same time, all my heroes like Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr and Andrew Schultz and Tom Segura and Burt Kreischer and Joe Rogan and Shane Gillis and Tony Hinchcliffe and David Lucas and all of those guys, that's the ultimate test of confidence. Being comfortable saying a bunch of jokes that are not meant to be taken seriously because they're jokes. But unfortunately, in this climate that we live in with the way YouTube operates, because I'm a small YouTuber, I don't know if whenever I put them up, it'll get taken down immediately and I might get a copyright strike for offensive material or whatever the fuck it is. Because guys like Tony Hinchcliffe and Andrew Schultz could, or like Matt Rife or Adam Ray, they can do that, but it's because I just feel like YouTube has this bias where we can let those guys, because they already get millions of views, we will let them say all the dirty jokes they want, and we'll leave it up. But I just have this, and maybe it's just my own paranoia. It very well could just be that. But what if Because my biggest fear is, what if I do that, post some stand-up material, put it on YouTube, and then my YouTube channel gets deleted forever, and all this thing that I've been working for 2008, so this YouTube channel that I've been dedicating my life for 16 years for would all be out the window. That is what it is. Because trust me, I have no issue going up on stage telling some R-rated jokes. Because guess what? When I try to be tame, I try to be calm, I try to be PG, kind of like Jerry Seinfeld. Don't get me wrong, love Seinfeld, love Jerry. He's amazing. He's great at clean comedy. That's not my style. Like you've heard me talk about the people that I love. That's not me. I can't. My style is among those guys that do the R-rated stuff. TJ, I am connected to the Wi-Fi over here. Chastity says, if we knew how much your laptop would cost to get back, I'm sure we could rally it up, for the simple fact that people want to see you go live more often, and they know that is the reason you aren't. I mean, I don't want to say how much it costs to get it back. I mean, it's not an extraordinary amount of money, but uh, see, that's right there, right there. Turn the stove off. It's already happening, right there, in that moment. Because I don't know, I think you can see it in my tone of voice, my facial expressions, but at the same time, there's generous people out there that want to help, and I guess it's just coming to the surface, that maybe that's being too dark to say it. I mean, fuck it. I already talked about the S word before in that 900,000 view video. It's just, it's, you know what? We'll get back to that. I just need some time away from that subject. Posh Stir is saying, are there any styles of clothes or fashion you like or you would like to try? Or any styles of hair and facial hair you would be interested in trying out? Well, see, Poshster, for a laugh on my last stream, I don't know if you were there, but you saw I had extremely long sideburns, and I didn't shave for a month, and really a month and a half. And I just feel like, because of my half Asian DNA causing me to not grow a beard, I just feel like I don't like the way I look with a beard, and the only time I have it is because I keep being in denial about how horrible I look with facial hair, because really it's like seeing that in the mirror, seeing it on camera, just makes me realize how much I need to dedicate to, if not clean shaven, then at the very least just using a trimmer with zero guard and just cutting everything off. But my personal style is, I already have a personal style. It's just so many of these dude bros that, god damn it, why do I keep bringing it up? Stop that, Jaren. Jesus. Anyway, it's just, I like to dress up either wearing t-shirts that represent the stuff I like, the stuff I'm passionate about, like shirts with bands, shirts with video games, shirts with Marvel or DC characters. And then the other side is, I like to wear button-down shirts similar to this one, where I don't even know if you can see the pattern, but it's like this, where, you know, sometimes they're minimalistic like this, and other times I just like Hawaiian shirts or things like that. But I also understand that most people look better when they have shirts that fit them correctly. But I was under the misguided nomenclature that the looser the fit, the more comfortable. So that's why, like, this shirt doesn't exact, like, the sleeves are always too long, and I've just had these shirts for so many years because I don't have the income, or let's say I don't have enough of a chunk of disposable income to just go out and spend money on clothing. Aaron Taylor says, "Can you see my comments? Your vids have meant a lot to me. Have you literally stopped me from ending it all." Man, and your name's almost similar to mine. Your name's Aaron, my name's Jaren. Uh huh. I mean that, man, you know what? All those dude bro assholes think I'm too emotional anyway, but fuck it, because I feel it coming on, and some feelings coming up, and fuck it, I'll just let it out. Seeing your message there, Aaron Taylor, you see, let me tell you about a person, well, who helped save my life. And similar to you, it's someone I don't know in real life, but I'm very inspired by this person. And that person's name is Hayley Williams. She is the lead singer for the rock band Paramore. And I was going through a very difficult time in my life when I discovered Paramore for the first time. But, and that's the thing, is you might not know the details of your memories. So I might get some things wrong. I might not be super accurate. But this is, to the best of my knowledge as of this moment, how I remember this memory. Because I went to the psychiatric hospital in 2020, and this was in the middle of the pandemic. So this was during April, late April, early May of 2020. There's this deli that I like to go to, and I thought that they were open because I thought that I wanted to go. I just want to enjoy a corned beef sandwich at this deli. I'm feeling bad. I'm not in a good mood. Hopefully, this sandwich can cheer me up, because I very stupidly thought that during the pandemic, restaurants would immediately be back open again. So I just had the assumption that this deli was going to be open. And now you might be wondering, what the hell does this have anything to do with Hayley Williams or Paramore? I will get there, all right? Bear with me. It's because I thought that I will go there, be in a better mood, and everything will be fine. Because this place that I go to is usually open for 24 hours. But I went there at around 10 or 11 p.m. at night, and it was still closed, and I felt so gutted. And at the time, I thought that it's not gonna be that I thought that's when, for the first time in my life, I thought, I just want to get I just want to get a goddamn Reuben sandwich. And even then, I can't even have that because at that time, I thought that is what would make me happy. But then it was in that moment when I had some scissors in my glove box and I was going to end it all. But and I'll tell you what it was. It's because I'm pretty sure this phone number is only in America. I don't know whatever your equivalent is out of the world. And before I even continue on with this, please seek help. All right? If you are feeling that way at all. If you are feeling the S word, take thoughts of the S word taking over you, please, for the love of God, talk to anyone. All right? Okay, I just want to say that before moving forward with this story. All right, Aaron Taylor. So, the thing is, before that point, I was listening to Paramore's earlier albums and I was a big fan of it. Okay, but then something clicked in my head that said, you know what? Why are you thinking this way? You've never had S word tendencies ever before. Why is this going on right now? I'm like internally, I'm chatting about this in my head with myself. And then I said, Jaron, I need you to do this. Like me talking to myself in my head. I'm not saying this out loud. This is all going on in here. I said, Jaron, we're going to find a parking spot. You're going to call the phone number. That 988 phone number we have for the National S Word and Crisis Hotline. So I called that number. And I don't know how this happened, but it kept hanging up. I don't know if it's because there was a low cell phone signal in the area or whatever it was, but I kept trying to call that hotline and my phone, the call, whether it was the signal or whatever it was, the call kept getting dropped every time I would call this number. And I said, okay, fuck it. Let's find some place that's open. So I went to a La Quinta hotel, told them I'm feeling having S word thoughts. Can you please call 911? So they called them up. They took me and I went and I stayed at a place for a couple of days. And and let me tell you, those people saved my life. They really did. But they saved my life and I said, okay, fine. I don't want to die anymore, but I still feel like shit on the inside. So I remember it was my birthday, May 15, 2020. And I listened to the album. Come on, Jaron, keep it together. Or fuck it, let it out. Who gives a fuck? I listened to Paramore's album, After Laughter. Oh my God, what a coincidence. Right now, I have 26 live viewers. And it was the song 26 on the album After Laughter by Paramore. I've never felt such a strong emotional connection to a song before. And maybe the subject matter is not the exact same thing that Haley sings about in that song, but I could relate to those words. Maybe she was thinking of something completely differently than what I was thinking about, but just hearing those words gave me, like, as soon as I heard heard those lyrics, I immediately, because I was still driving at that time, I pulled over and just sobbed the same way I sobbed when my dad died, just sobbed nonstop. Because in that moment, it felt like she was singing directly to me, and I ended up getting the will to live again. And if I ever get the chance to meet Haley Williams or Zach Farrow or Taylor York, the three members of Paramore, if I get the chance to meet any of them, I would tell them, thank you for saving my life. Because I don't know if I would still even be here if it wasn't for those three incredible human beings. And that's my story about that. So Aaron, when you say that my story or my videos or whatever it is helped you not do that, not commit the S word, that all I can say is that really moved me. And I appreciate you. I appreciate that you're still here with us on planet Earth, because I feel like the S word is something that is way too fucking stigmatized, and it should be a normal thing to be talked about. It should be talked about in school. I feel like the way our education system is, all they do is teach us a bunch of bullshit that doesn't matter. Whereas I feel like mental health, physical health, dieting, finances, and I guess the mental health class could teach a whole semester about S word awareness and S word prevention. That should be the mandatory things in school. That's what it should be. I feel like I'm getting dangerously close to talking about politics, just talking about my opinion on the American public school system. So I'm going to stop talking about it now, because I vowed that this channel will not go in those types of directions. So I apologized for sharing. Well, why am I apologizing? It's like, that is real shit. But anyway, I don't know if I'm making any sense, but that's just what I had to say when I read your comment, Aaron Taylor. And it's funny, your name's Aaron. I think it says there your last name's Taylor. Taylor York's the guitar player in Paramore. And he is one of my heroes, and he's one of the reasons why I'm now all of a sudden interested in Jazzmaster style guitars. So Aaron, if you are still here in the chat room and you are still watching, just know that there are people who care about you, and don't ever give up on your dreams. Don't ever give up. If someone tells you no, just let go of that person's energy and do what you want to do. Don't try to force yourself to fit. Don't try to force yourself to stay in a box that people want to put you in. Kind of like what I'm going through with YouTube. Like, they keep wanting to stuff me in a box, shove me in a category of specific YouTuber that they want me to be. Do what you want to do. Now, of course, within reason. Don't do anything that's going to don't do anything that, of course, as long as you're not hurting anybody, do the stuff that you want to do with your life. And if they tell you no, say, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyway, and you're not going to be able to stop me. So, Aaron Taylor, I hope you're still here in the chat room because that you were able to see that long response to your comment. But I appreciate you watching my channel, and I'm happy that you're still here with us. Lazoo, S word, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about when I say the word S word. And no, it doesn't stand for fucking simp, you piece of shit. Because if I say that word, YouTube will shut this down. And it's bullshit that YouTube will shut it down when I say that S word. Because that's exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. It should be a normal thing that's talked about. I'm here pouring my fucking heart out, and you're gonna be here talking like a smartass little shit. Get the fuck out of here. Hang on, Lazoo, I'm gonna click hide user on this channel. You don't get to act like a goddamn fucking ninth grader like that. Yes, Luke, thank you. Being emotional is much better than being numb. You deserve a medal. Arotu, welcome to the live stream. I just spent I don't know how long just giving my response to someone, Aaron Taylor. I hope he's still here in the chat room and he got to hear what I had to say. Road 2 says, I sadly know how you feel about your mom being gone as I lost my mom this summer. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that. But that's the thing is my mom's not, I mean, she's gone in the fact that she's not the same person anymore because she's just, that's just, I really, my condolences are owed to. I hope that you're doing better. And if there's ever anyone that you need to talk to about it, just know that there's people here and there's a community here of genuinely good human beings that we can talk about stuff. Okay, Aaron responded. Well, I don't know if Aaron is a, because I can't just assume. But Aaron says, "I know." Oh, come on, man. Arthur says, "I know I will never ever find love, and it kills me inside every day. Watching your video, knowing I have someone to relate to, it helped. It felt like you were speaking directly to and through me. Thanks." Well, here's the thing. Stop saying you will never ever find love, because the more you say it, the more it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You need to change your vocabulary, and that's why I recommend listen to Joe Dispenza. He's the one that helped me. Watching all of his interviews helped me get through all of it. And of course, I am not an expert by any means, but just try listening to them, and that's when a light bulb will go off. Of course, you could choose to ignore what Joe Dispenza talks about, but if you're anything like me, listening to Joe Dispenza interviews helped how I helped a lot about whatever improvements I've made since that viral video of mine. A large chunk of that can be credited to Dr. K from Healthy Gamer GG as well as Joe Dispenza. Bill Numerator says thank you for being you. I appreciate that. Yeah, see, Luke, I dropped out of the Art Institute of Houston after, how long was I there for? I was there for 8 months and dropped out after realizing how much bullshit it is. And then all of a sudden, now I feel, I don't know if vindicated is the right word for it, but justified, vindicated, whatever the proper word here is. I felt justified after finding out the Art Institute has shut down all of their locations and shut down as a school because they got accusations of fraud. Aaron says, thank you. It meant a lot. I'm still watching. Some days I feel like giving up. Some days I think, what's the point? There's no hope. It's over for me. I try and try, but I get kicked down again and again. Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza. JOE space DISP. Fuck. Okay. Please let me know if you can relate to this. It's so much easier to write it down or type it out than it is to spell it out. Because for whatever reason, when I'm spelling words, I can type them out, but all of a sudden someone says, spell this word right now. All of a sudden I blank and can't figure it out. But Joe Dispenza, trust me, please just give watching, like, okay, let's say The Diary of a CEO. Watch the episode where Joe Dispenza was a guest on that podcast. Watch that one. I mean, he's been on several different podcasts, but if you watch that one and just listen to what he has to say. Aro2 says, I gave up on love forever. I'm just having fun being single. Okay, being single, and if anything happens, it will happen. All right, you see, that's the thing. Stop expecting it. That what you just said is like you're saying, I gave up on love forever. I'm just having fun being single. That's what it's all about. Have fun living your life the way you want to live it. And if you come across a person in real life that you're attracted to, then great. Then great. It's the problem comes when you're forcing it to happen. Like all these people that make these videos saying, I asked out 1,000 girls and this is what they had to say. This was my experience after asking 1,000 girls out. Like, you should be going to environments where, at least, of course, I'm just an idiot on YouTube. No one has to listen to what I have to say, but just my opinion. And this is why when YouTube gives when I find when not if when the power of positivity, when YouTube, when I can start earning a real living from YouTube, that's when I can have the money to go out, like events, stand-up comedy, going to karaoke, maybe going to a Rockets game if I can get tickets, which hopefully, they do really good this season because I've got some good hopes for them. Well, the tickets are still cheaper because once they become a playoff team, those tickets are going to get expensive. But you know, going to, like, if SmackDown or Raw comes to the Toyota Center and I could get a ticket to that, I would love that. That would be incredible. Oh man. Oh, by the way, I understood why I had diarrhea before. I found out the culprit. Let me show you the proof of it. So before me and Mo left the casino, we were grabbing some drinks. This is Liquid Death, which I first heard of this because it was sponsored by Tom Segura and Burt Kreischer on Two Bears One Cave. Um, they were making just water and sparkling water, and now they make iced tea. And so I drank this iced tea, but my dumbass forgot something. I don't, I don't know if the camera's going to focus on that, but it says 30 milligrams of caffeine. No wonder I've been shitting myself like crazy. Well, not shitting myself, but just barely missing the toilet. No wonder. No wonder. Ah, come on. Huh. I look at the clock and it says 4:44. A sign of good luck. The damn cardboard box fell down. Oh, come on, man. I'm so jealous of people that can drink caffeine. No, no, see, Aaron, hey, you said something right there. Okay. Thanks, Mr. Gaming Guitarist. I am broke slash poor. I never tell people I am a virgin and never had a girlfriend because I know, listen to that language, because I know they will shame me, embarrass me, and judge me heavily. This is a cruel world we live in. Your thoughts make your reality. If that's how you think of the world, that's what you will see. If you want to change that, change how you see the world. Realize that your thoughts are not fixed and they don't control who you are. Because you can change the way you think, the way you feel, the way you act. Your personality is the way you think, the way you feel, the way you act, and those three things that make up your personality are what will create your personal reality. Personality, personal reality. Are you getting that? Though these are things that I learned from Joe Dispenza. Just Just, I don't know how many times to tell you, Aaron, just go watch Joe Dispenza, listen to it. But please, at the same time, understand I'm not a doctor. And I mean, it should be common sense that nobody comes to my videos for for medical advice or anything of that nature. But I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy. All right. I don't have magic powers. I don't have superpowers. All I do is talk about my experiences in life and what I've learned from them. And I also like to cover the world of entertainment. That's what I do. Mo is in the chat. Welcome, Mo. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep live streaming, but for the time being, I'm still doing it, dealing with a bunch of glitches on the YouTube app. But I just heard, but yeah, but man, I was thinking about it, Chastity. Like, you were asking me how much does it cost to get, because I said, I'll go back to it. You said, how much is that going to cost to get your laptop back? See, I'm hesitating because, and I know this is a big flaw with my thinking, I keep thinking I don't deserve the help or the donations that people want to give me, but I know that's just my thoughts trying to take over my emotions. Because I know if there's people that want to donate, and thank you so much so far to the $41.51 I've gotten today. Thank you so much. I know, but I mean, okay, I'll do it. Because I'll look at the note from the pawn shop and I'll tell you what the total says. Oh, god damn it. The calculator on my phone isn't working. Shit, I forgot. It's the damn. I'm still streaming on the fucking YouTube thing. Okay. Okay, so I thought that it was the same exact cost that it. Well, I thought that it was more expensive than the last time I had it in there, but no, it's the same. It's $300 to get my laptop back. 300. That's how much it costs. Vegetarian says good to donate $6 Canadian. Thank you so much. He says good to see you going again. Don't get so hung up on the cruelty of others. You're a content creator. That's a very wise thing, and I absolutely agree with that, Vegetarian. Thank you so much. Yeah, vegetarian. Houston is the fourth largest city in America. Thank all I will say is thank God I don't live downtown. I would probably get a brain aneurysm from the stress of traffic and lack of parking alone. Suburbs are the key to happiness. That's probably that was me trying to come up with something clever. It sounded better in my head than the way it came out. Yeah, see, Mo got home at 6 a.m. today because he dropped me off at 4 a.m. here. And then, because we left the casino at, I think that was 1 a.m. or 12:30. And then he took me home first because it's closer to go. It's on the way to my place, is on the way. And then he went and drove himself home. It's so funny how you don't understand like what it feels like to have 900,000 people watch you and then see that amount of hatred and vitriol all directed towards you. Nothing will for anyone that wants to be on YouTube, nothing will prepare you when it does happen. That's the sheer overwhelming tension that you feel when you read something where they just make assumptions about who you are and judge you based off those assumptions that are not even true. The hardest thing to do, and I learned this from Joe Rogan, the hardest thing to do is to resist the urge to reply to comments, learning to let them go. And this live stream right here is a perfect example of how comments affect someone who's not used to letting shit go or letting shit slide off of you or shaking it off or just letting it go. All right. Yes, I agree. I don't know how to say her name. Saujuous says it's all ego, man. Got to get out of caring too much about thinking how other people think about you. Yes, that is simultaneously very easy and one of the hardest things to do. And Orotu says I got 7 rejections in school. So you stopped. That's not the reason to stop. Here's the biggest thing I learned. One of the big things that where the light bulb came off in my head when it came to Dr. watching Dr. K, who huge source of inspiration for me. He says, he said, you have to be rejection, not don't let the outcome determine your emotional state. It's about not being rejection proof. It's about being rejection independent. That's what it is. Because there have been girls that I've seen where I ask for their phone number and they tell me no, or they give me their Instagram profile and then I send a message there and they never respond to me again. Big difference between how I was in 2022 versus now is back then it would have crushed me. It would have ruined my mood. I would have been in a bad mood all day long and it would take hours for me to return to normal. Sometimes even 24 hours. Difference today, when that happens, I said this before, but when you get rejected, you just turn the stove off right there and then. That's it. Now, of course, there could be, that just means there's lots of stuff under the surface. But that doesn't mean that just because one girl tells you no, that doesn't mean give up forever. It's like someone told you no. So what? Someone told you no, you move on with your life. Stop trying to stay attached to one person who doesn't want you or is not interested in you the way that you're interested in them. Just let it go. Let it go. Because guess what? I went to the casino with Mo to have a good time. Finally, and be able to go outside and go outside again. Doesn't mean that just because I talked to some girls that I thought were attractive and they tell me no, doesn't mean that that's because they said no to me that I'm going to the rest of the day I'm going to feel like shit. No, I move on, say go find Mo, say, "Hey, how'd you do? How's this slot machine working for you?" You just see there is something so powerful when it comes to letting go. Like so much, like in my opinion, 50% of all that chaos and bullshit that poisons your brain from your thoughts, so much of it can be gotten rid of by simply letting go, staying present. That's it. And sometimes it feels like I constantly have to repeat myself because there's so many people coming to me saying, complaining, being in the exact emotional state of mind that I was in that video. But you can't stay there forever. Like what Joe Dispenza says, how long are you going to stay that way? It's like, why are you mad all the time? Why are you upset all the time? Oh, it's because this one thing happened to me. Happened to me a year ago. And it's like, he's still so angry. Why? Oh, because of this thing that happened to me 2 years ago. And then 3, 4, 5, 6. How many years are you going to let that shit stay with you, affect how you live your life until you realize change can happen? Until you realize there is a better way there actually is a way to feel better about yourself throughout the day. How long are you going to keep going? How long are you going to let those demons control you before? How long are you going to let those demons control you until you say, "Fuck you, demons! I am Iron Man, and I'm better than you." How much longer? Yes, Jim douchebag dude bros. I used a Marvel analogy again. Fucking sue me. It's so funny. I took a sip of water and I don't even know where I put it. All right, let me try to. Oh wait, Mo, you went to Rudy's Barbecue? Holy shit! I love Rudy's. That place is, yeah. They don't give you a plate; they just put it right on the tray with some butcher paper. It's fucking fantastic. If you guys are in the Houston area, I think they have different locations throughout Texas. Rudy's Barbecue. It's amazing. And no, that is not a fucking sponsorship. But if they wanted to sponsor me, hell yes, I'm taking that shit because brisket is delicious, especially brisket that's done well. Dandon says my fiance made some homemade pumpkins and cinnamon roll muffin. I'm having a hard time. A cinnamon roll muffin. What does that even look like? Makes it all from scratch, even the icing. Wow. You know what's funny? Before I used to bake a lot more often. Like when I was younger, I used to make brownies. I used to make different cookies. I used to make. Oh, okay, I get it now. I think Cracker Barrel has like that kind of cinnamon roll like muffins where it's like done in a pan specific like a cinnamon roll that's just baked inside like a pie crust like that. That's the only comparison I could think of. But let me just say, live streaming, doing this second live stream, staying like second consistent live stream, it has made me truly realize how much I missed it. And because I used to think, oh, I don't need to do that. But it gets me in a mode where I feel like I'm connecting with other people. Just assholes aside, let's learn the lesson from earlier in the stream and not give those assholes any more attention. But when you see the genuine people, it makes you feel good because it means all this effort you're doing. Like, this is what I would be doing this YouTube anyway, but it's nice to know that at the very least, there are people who actually want to see the stuff you make. Because from 2008 till around roughly 2019, I was lucky if I even got 100 views per video. Then I started doing reaction videos, and the first hint of true lots of views I had was when I did a reaction video to the band Nightwish, and then it just grew. And then I did Evanescence and Alter Bridge, but the way that YouTube is, it's damn near impossible to make music reactions today because you're taking a risk with your YouTube channel every time you do it. However, I would love to be able to do reactions to stand-up comedy. I would love to do that, but the thing is, because I'm such a big fan of comedy anyway, I see so many things to begin with, so maybe I could just do a rewatch of them. Uh, because there's lots of clips that I haven't seen in a long time. It's that feeling you get when you're like, I remember that this was awesome, but I want to remember how awesome it was. Giant muffin pan, yeah, that is similar to what Cracker Barrel does, where they make it on a like a tray that they use to bake pies with. Poshster, what's your favorite food, Jaren? Well, if you saw my other videos before, when I was talking about what was it like to make, what was it like to make when I had to name my favorite guitar players or my favorite basketball players or my favorite wrestlers, I don't want to. I hate doing a list because it's so hard for me to pick just one. But what I can do for this moment is just tell you what I love off the top of my head. Like they were already talking about it before, but I love barbecue, Texas barbecue. I want to try other types of barbecue that's out there. I've heard Korean barbecue is fantastic. You know, uh, I've heard that Tennessee barbecue, Carolina barbecue, all of that is great. I think St. Louis does their own type of barbecue where it's all just dry rub with no like barbecue sauce. I think I've had dry rub before, but like not enough to comment on whether I truly love it or not. But at the same time, I guess I'm a true Texan because barbecue is my first answer. But I also, I guess, being a Texan as well, this falls in line. I love Mexican food, but you know, give me some tacos, burritos, enchiladas, or I guess maybe Tex-Mex is more specific because, of course, I live in Texas. It's natural that there's a ton of Tex-Mex restaurants. So I don't know if I've had true like Mexican food, but because but I know that for sure I love Tex-Mex food. Um, I love steak. I love shrimp. I love lobster. When the very few times I'm able to have lobster, I enjoy it. I like pasta. I like Italian food. I I fucked up that shrimp and crab pasta at that very nice seafood restaurant inside the casino that me and Mo went to in Louisiana. That's the thing with me is I'm really not a picky eater. I'm just not. But you know, but the food that I don't like that still takes a long time, like I can eat it, but I'm not gonna be enjoying it that often is green peas, just regular green peas. I hated them when I was a child, and I can try a little bit of them. But if green peas is the only like for example, if someone had a side dish and you could choose some vegetables and green peas were a part of like that mixed vegetable bag, I wouldn't eat it. But the only times I did like green peas was like because there wasn't a lot of them, but it's when they were with carbonara pasta. Because I know that's like a main part of carbonara. I love that. Dandon says it would be funny as fuck to see Jaren and Mo do a baking stream. Could you imagine? Wait, just imagine if we did this on Halloween. Me as Batman, Mo as the Penguin, and we're making brownies or cookies or whatever we think of. Who wants to see that shit? Because I've been telling Mo he would be great as the Penguin, and I love Batman, so Batman's my favorite fictional character. Sue me if that sounds unoriginal, but that's an idea that I've had in my head since yesterday. Yes, Rudy's barbecue sauce is bussin'. If that's a slang word the kids these days use, I don't know. Ah, okay. Dandon can make his own ribs. Well, Mo, there's lots of places in Texas where they make chili without beans. Yeah, I've tried some. I've tried like Mediterranean style like dishes where like I know it's not technically Mediterranean food, but I've had like Mediterranean chicken sandwich at Potbelly where they make it with like roasted bell peppers and hummus. And I like roasted bell peppers and I like hummus. I just don't have a ton of knowledge about Mediterranean food, but I've heard that like a Mediterranean diet's very popular. Somebody say olives. I mean, I like olives. Um, yeah, I mean, I like black olives on a pizza or like olives on a sandwich. And I could try some olives on their own. It's not something I really think about all that often, though. Yeah, they are good in salads. Glenn says, "Hi from Australia." I love Australia, and and a lot of the Australians I've met have been very nice people. And let's just say that two of my favorite actors are Australian: Hugh Jackman, Margot Robbie. So I don't know. It's just people say that there's the stereotype Canadians are nice. I feel like there's a lot of nice Australians out there. Or I should say, rather, I would say Hugh Jackman and Margot Robbie are great ambassadors for Australia, I would say. Simon Baker is Australia. I don't know Simon Baker. And of course, yeah, Chris Hemsworth, I know him. Yeah, all the Hemsworth brothers, I know them. Uh, well, Russell Crowe, of course, Nicole Kidman, ACDC. Even though like the Young brothers were from originally from and Bon Scott were from Scotland, ACDC started where they grew up in Australia. But I'd say, ACDC just covers everything from like Scottish, Australian, and British. You like the Australian accent. There's so many actors from England and Australia. Like, It's like, because I feel like it's so much easier for English or Australian people to do an American accent than it is for Americans to do an English accent. That's why when someone can do an English accent really well, it's like it really surprises me. Kind of like Charlize Theron in, if you ever saw that movie Atomic Blonde, where her character is British. But wait a minute. Wait. I just remembered Charlize Theron is from South Africa. Never mind. But that's the thing, though, is that whenever I hear Charlize Theron speaking in her like in just interviews, being herself, it sounds like she has an American accent. Like whenever I think of a South African accent, like I think of Trevor Noah, and I don't hear that kind of accent from Charlize at all. So I don't know if like she was born in South Africa, but then grew up in America. I don't know. But Charlize Theron, another great actress. I need to rewatch Mad Max Fury Road. And I haven't seen the I have not seen the Furiosa movie yet, but I have heard great things about it. It just feels like there was not a lot of hype around it. Like I didn't feel like, because I it felt like the trailers for Mad Max Fury Road. It felt like they were everywhere, whereas I didn't see a ton of marketing. Or maybe I'm just stupid and was living under Patrick Starr's rock. I just haven't seen anything. Like I didn't feel the hype building for the Furiosa movie at all. But I know it's on Max right now. And by the way, speaking of Max, if you like Batman, you owe it to yourself to watch episode 1 of The Penguin. Speaking of actors who change accents, Colin Farrell completely transforms himself with that makeup, changing his accent from Irish to that New Yorker, mafia type of accent. It's just that whole like I was, because before people were so pissed off with that Fox series Gotham, so many people said that show sucks, that show sucks. But because they said no one will ever want to watch a Batman show without Batman, and then Penguin shows up and says, "All right, hold my beer." Yeah, vegetarian says I'm mostly Scottish, and sometimes the accent pops out even though I speak like a Westerner. That reminds me of the actor John Barrowman. John Barrowman was he was now I have never seen Torchwood, but I know him because he was Malcolm Merlin in Arrow. And I was shocked when I found out that he really is Scottish, because he puts on an American accent for all his interviews, but when he does an interview in Scotland, he just does a full-on Scottish accent. So I don't know how that works. Where I guess, is it just that some people get so used to speaking in an American accent that they just it just becomes natural to sound American, and they or Canadian or whatever that type of whatever accent I have, the neutral American accent or a Canadian accent, like that sounds like this, where it just sounds becomes second nature to them, and then it's still second nature to also sound Scottish. But yeah, John Barrowman, fantastic actor. To be fair, I haven't seen him in much stuff, but I enjoyed his performance as Malcolm Merlin in the Arrowverse. Bill S says, "Are you in INFP? I recommend watching C.S. Joseph, since he has a lot of advice for each cognitive type. You see, I've never been tested for whatever those, I forget the name of it, but those 4 letters, I don't remember what it's called. The personality type thing, because I know you need to get a test to get that done, because I don't want to make assumptions about this is what type I am. Uh, I don't know. INFP. I don't know what that. I don't know what the. I mean, I've done research into that before, but it's been so long that I've forgotten most of it. Because I think it said I am in. Now I did a quiz on the internet, which I know doesn't mean jack shit. But if I remember correctly, I think when I took those results things, it said I was an INFJ. I think. I don't know. Hugh Laurie is a dual act. Yeah, yeah, he is. He is a dual accent actor. He has a test on his website, UDJA. All right, I should remember that. CS Joseph. Okay. Jan said, "Do you want any pets?" No. Here's Yeah, I'm not going to share this part about myself. I'll just keep that to myself for right now. When I feel like it's something I want to talk about, I'll talk about me and the subject of pets and animals later on. Okay, I'm. It feels like I'm starting to develop a sore throat for talking, but I think it mostly came from all that yelling I did, getting pissed off at asshole comments earlier in this live stream. So I'm gonna give my voice a rest, and I'm just gonna end the stream here. And I just want to say thank you to everyone, yes, including the assholes, because hey, that only guess what? You're still contributing to the growth of my channel for those motherfuckers. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.